I am Pastor Rakia Wright, and I am so grateful and thankful for each and every one of you all who are in this training today. That means that you have said yes to the Lord and you're taking a leap of faith and you are saying, I want to lead a small group. I want to be a small group facilitator. And I want you all to know how important being a small group facilitator is. This role is absolutely, positively important. And so I want us to look at the big picture as to why you are here. You know, myself and Pastor Chuck, we really heard from the Lord concerning the vision and the mission of this church. And one of the goals that we have set forth, which you hear us say this all the time, is that every member would be a minister. And so we have been called to be a minister. The Lord tells us this in Matthew 28, where he gives us this commission to go ye therefore and do what? Make disciples. And a part of that is being able to teach people the gospel and really help people lead a life in pursuit of Christ. And so this campaign, I would say, that we're doing for the summer months, if you're watching this at another season, then that's great. But right now, we are focusing in on these summer months to really push some people out of their comfort zone and push them out of the boat and into a place where they can facilitate or host a small group of their own. This is where the entire church, because our goal being every member a minister, where our entire church can be rallied around one central theme, and that is to go ye therefore and make disciples. All right, so this is so important because it really allows people to get to their next step in their pursuit of God. So as you're listening in today, you're saying, I want to take the next step. I want to go from just being a hearer, but really someone that is able to teach and to lead others in their pursuit of Christ. And so that's your next step. And so this is going to be such a powerful experience for each and every one of you. It's going to bring momentum into your life, and it's going to bring spiritual growth in your life. And so small groups are such a huge part of this ministry because it really fosters spiritual growth and discipleship. We want to be disciples. We don't want to just be Christians and hold the title. We truly want the people of Emmanuel Light of the world to be disciples. And a true disciple makes disciples. All right, so it really goes and takes us to go beyond just the truth and just us knowing the truth, because we can know a lot about the word, as I'm sure many of you guys know a lot about what the Bible says. But when you are making disciples and you are facilitating or hosting a small group, it really helps you to process the word together with others who are in a pursuit of Christ. And it brings forth true life transformation. When I was a part of a small group many, many years ago, my first small group that I was a part of, it helped me grow in Christ so much. I felt like I was on a growth spurt because I was around other like-minded people who were pursuing Jesus, and it brought forth life transformation into my life. And so I really accounted to the small group settings where I was able to go from a large church setting and just hearing a sermon, but take that sermon and break it apart and process it with other people. And I believe that that's going to be the same for you, and as well as everyone that is a part of your small group. So we need people just like you to step out and step up and host a small group. And so you've taken that step, and our prayer is that we would have more people just like you to take that next step and host a small group. So I know what you're thinking. Maybe you're thinking, okay, this sounds great. I see the big picture, I see the vision, but what is the commitment looking like, Pastor Ruki? And so I want you to understand that there is a commitment, but the commitment is simple. I want y'all to say that. The commitment is simple. Right there, I believe that some of y'all can breathe right now and the anxiety is going away, because this is not something that you're necessarily going to have to commit to for a long term, right? But right now, we want you to just focus in on the simple commitment. And this is what we're asking. We're asking you to open up your heart, and we're asking you to open up your home. Now, I know that we're in a pandemic still, and so our home may not be something that we're opening up right now. But if it's not your home, open up your laptop, open up your computer. So you need an open heart, and you need an open laptop or open computer, and be willing to invest, watch this, only 4 to 8 weeks this summer in hosting a small group. Can y'all say that? 4 to 8 weeks. So you can choose, and we'll give you the studies or the lessons for those 4 weeks, 6 week, or 8 week, whichever commitment. All we're asking is that you take the step and say, this is a simple commitment that I can make for 4 to 8 weeks. So there are 2 elements to this. All right, if you're writing notes, I want you to take these 2 elements down. The first element is this. We want you to host a small group 1 time a week. All right, 1 time a week, that is it. So if you say, I want to do a 4-week small group with some friends in my neighborhood and a few people from the church, and I want to do this study for 4 weeks, that means that you're meeting once a week for the duration of those 4 weeks. And then you're also making a commitment to say, I'm going to meet once a week, but I'm also going to show a short video, and then I'm going to guide my group through some simple discussion questions. You're not a preacher. You don't have to come up with your own sermon. You don't have to, feel like you have to know all the answers. Those are many things that people will come to me with. They'll say, I don't want to know if I want to do this because I feel like I have to know all the answers. What if someone asks me a question and I don't know the answer? I want y'all to breathe. You don't have to know the answer, right? I want you guys to let your friends know that I'm just the facilitator. I'm just the gatherer. I'm gathering people together for us to be able to process the Word of God together. And if there's something that stumps you, you say, hey, I'm going to ask my pastors and I'm going to get back to you. Or let's research this together and then we can help each other. So let's take the pressure off and say, you know what, I can do this. I can lead and I can ask questions for everyone to engage and be a part. And then if you also would like to have a partner with you, there's many groups that we have in our church that we have partners. Just in case you can't make it one week or something comes up, you'll have someone that can lead the group for you. All right, so we do encourage partnership, but I'm telling you, hosting a small group is so simple that you can do it by yourself. You can do it by yourself. Okay, so what we ask of you is that as you're praying through your small group, we ask that you would give us the day, the time, and the location. If you're meeting virtual, that you would give us your virtual login information so that we'll be able to assist you and we'll be able to check on you on the day and the time that your group meets. Okay, so and also we can help you find a partner. If you say, hey, I want to do this group, but I don't have anybody to join with, we can help you. So just let us know what you need, and then we can help partner you with someone for the 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks that you're doing it. All right, so the next question is, okay, who's going to be in my group? Who will join my group, right? You have friends, you have coworkers, you have neighbors, you have people in your circle. I like to say this, your circle of influence. These are people that you already talk to on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. These are people that when there are situations that happens in their life, they call you for advice. They call you for prayer. These are people that you're already investing in that would be more than willing to join you in a simple Bible study and make a short commitment to that Bible study. So our goal for you is to be invitational. Invite people. Don't be afraid. Like I just shared with you, when I reached out to my friends and people that I felt God was putting on my heart to reach out to, I just made it very simple. And I said, hey, sis, I'm doing a Bible study for 8 weeks, and it's called, and I told them the name of the Bible study. And I said, would you be interested in doing a Bible study with me? And every person that the Lord placed on my heart to invite, all of them, except for one because of her work schedule, but all of them said yes. It's that simple. And so we don't have to make it difficult. If we extend the invitation, I promise you, the people that you have invested in, they will attend. Okay, so that's another weight that you can take off your shoulder. And so all that we ask you all to do, and write this down, is to make a list of everyone who is in your group. And if you're thinking about, well, who can be in my group? I want you to take some time to pray. Say, I'm going to pray for, a day. I'm going to just pray and ask the Lord to reveal to me, and whoever the Holy Spirit places on your heart or shows you a picture of them in your mind, I want you to write those names down. At least get 8 to 12 people that you can write down and potentially invite. All right. And so once you get those people that God places on your heart, you reach out to them, call them, pick up the phone and call them, send a text message. But you want to make sure that you are inviting them and being very clear of the day, the time, and the commitment to this. All right. So once you get your group, you want to make sure that you're following through right before you all meet. Like my group we meet on Thursdays. And so before I start, I will give them a call like on Monday and remind them of our time together as a group. And so you do want to make sure that everyone feels welcome, they feel comfortable, and they feel excited, because it's something that's very exciting. It should not be stressful. It should be very exciting to come together with your friends and people in your church community and study the Word of God together. All right, so what happens after the summer? People will say that, okay, I know you said it's a 4-week commitment or a 6-week or however many weeks that you decide to do it this summer, 4 to 8 weeks. But what happens after the summer? And if you're watching this video and it's not summer and you're watching it as a training in another season, and you're saying, okay, I will commit to 4 weeks, but what happens after the 4 weeks? I want to let you know this. Your commitment is only for the 4 weeks, okay? Your commitment is only for the 6 weeks or the 8 weeks, whatever amount of weeks that you signed up for, all right? But if you see where this group has gone well and you felt comfortable and the people in your group really connected, this is what happened when I first started a group. I said, okay, I'm going to do a little 4-week study. And then what happened was the girls in the group ended up connecting, and they were begging me not to stop having these groups. That might be you. So you have to be willing. If everybody in the group wants to continue, we do have breaks throughout the year. But if they want to continue in the fall or in the next season or the next semester that we have groups, you might want to say, hey, let's continue. Let's do another study together. So it's all totally up to you. All right. So right now, how are y'all feeling? How are you feeling? Okay. I hope you are feeling hopeful. I hope that you are feeling excited. Right? Maybe somebody is feeling a little anxious. Maybe some anxiety and fear is still present and still kicking in. But I want to leave this with you. Listen carefully. God can use you. I just need somebody to just type it in the chat box if you're able to. Say it out of your mouth. God can use me. Like God can use you. He doesn't just use the pastors or the ministers. He can use you. Why? Because he's commissioned you to do this. So because he's commissioned you to do this, that means he's going to be with you every step of the way. You may feel nervous. You may feel anxious. You may feel like I'm about to, I don't know how you're feeling. But I want you to know that God can use you. Okay? I would not be training you or telling you this if I did not believe it. All right. It is our job as pastors, myself and Pastor Chuck, to equip the saints to work the ministry. And a part of working the ministry is making disciples. And so I want to make sure that you understand that. We're going to provide all the tools for you. We're providing the videos for you. We're providing the resources for you. All you need is a is a computer and some internet, right? To be able to access these things. But we are providing everything. All that we ask you to do is just be prayerful and take steps to trust God and to obey him. Can y'all do that? Can y'all just say that I'm going to trust God and I'm going to obey him? I'm going to trust God and I am going to obey him. Maybe I didn't obey him and trust him the last time that we talked about small groups and different things of that nature. Maybe I was a little nervous, but today is a new day and I'm going to trust God and I'm going to obey. There are 4 P's that I love to really tell our small group leaders as we're preparing and getting ready for these small group settings. It's to prepare. You want to always make sure that you are prepared. Okay, we're giving you all the resources, but make sure that you've looked over it, right? Make sure that you have everything up and running on your computer and there's no breakdowns or things are not together. So you want to make sure that you are prepared. You want to make sure that you prep. If there's anything that needs to be prepped, that you would prep those things. You want to make sure that you are praying. Pray for the people in your group. If it's 4 weeks, I want you to commit to praying for the entire 4 weeks for every member of your group and praying for the time of ministry together. And then also the last P is to ask the pastor. Okay? All right. If you come across something where you're just unsure, you don't know, call me, call Pastor Chuck, call a pastor, right? So that we can help you and see you through this. All right. So we believe, myself and Pastor Chuck, we believe in each and every one of you. We believe in you. All right. And we're so thankful that you are just taking the moment to go through this training and to be a part of the bigger vision of Emmanuel Light of the world, that we're no longer just sitting, but you're saying, God, I believe that you can use me and I want to be a part of this. All right. So we believe in you. We're so thankful and grateful for you. And we believe that this summer is going to blow your mind. And again, if you're watching this at a different season, whatever season you're watching this and you're taking the leap of faith and stepping out, we believe that this is going to be the best 4 to 8 weeks of your life. And this is something that I believe that you're going to want to continue to do throughout your Christian walk. Amen. And so thank God for each and every one of you. There's a few questions that your facilitator will ask now. So just be prepared to engage in this time and ask any questions that you might have. Have a great one.